Hey guys, how's it going? It's Chris here, and we're going to be looking at the environment card type in the Vengeance Battle Card trading card game. So environments are one of only a handful of card types that don't go in your main deck. They're actually in your side deck, which doesn't have a zone on the field. It's just a small pile of cards you set aside and you only access for specific circumstances. So environments, you can have a total of 3 in your side deck. Now in the turn sequence, how environments work, we're going to look at this, right? At the start of a battle, each player places their chosen deck in the fighter in the appropriate zones and then decides who will go first in a way that feels fair. The second turn player decides the environment, and it will be environments are active for both players. Okay, so let's say flip a coin and I win the coin toss and I decide I'm going to go second. That means I get to place the environment zone, okay? As you can see, both players have an environment zone on the field, but only one is active at a time, and the environment applies to both fighters, both players, consistently at all times. And they each turn, they have one opportunity during their main phase to activate the environment's effect, or it just is consistently active. Sometimes they're activatable, sometimes they're passive. So for Wandering Pathway, as you can see, the effect is the turn player draws 2 cards for their draw phase. During the end phase, the turn player must discard until they have 3 cards in their hand. This is not optional. This is an effect that stays persistent. So during your turn, you will draw 2 cards and you will discard until you have 3 cards in your hand. So your new card maximum at the end of every turn is 3. All environments obviously have different card effects can be used for specific boosts for your fighter, where they do certain things. So you build your strategy with the environments in mind for your fighter and what you're doing, but you also don't know what your opponent is going to be doing. So let's take this card for example. This is Dissonant Bout. Let's say this environment's on the field and you have this activated effect. During each player's turn, they may discard 1 card to inflict 35 damage to their opponent. So you can just send a card away to the discard zone, boom, hit you for 35. Just a small amount of extra damage, not that impactful, but it can help if you have dead cards in your hand or you just need that little bit of extra damage at one point during the turn. So environments do not stay on the field permanently. Well, they do unless they're removed by a card effect. You always have to have an environment on the field, but they can be replaced either by your own effect or an opponent's card effect. There's an instant card that allows you to switch it. You can get rid of that current environment and then you get to place one of your own or whatever have you. You can't just decide to change the environment, because you have to think of it like in the context of our fighters met each other and are now engaged in combat in like a real life or an anime scenario. The 2 fighters like, oh, we're gonna fight. The second turn player is basically the one being quote unquote ambushed, so they are in the location that they happen to be in when they got attacked. That is the battlefield that they're fighting on. So if that card gets removed, it needs to be replaced by something else, and you can't just move yourselves on a whim. You have to do something to move to a different environment. Okay, so that'll pretty much do it. Very simple, very straightforward. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.